Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. I wonder what game I will be playing today, and why is there a crack in my wall? Okay, a case just slipped through. Oh, well, judging by the fact that an 8-bit version of one of my favorite cartoon theme songs from when I was a kid is now playing in the background, it can only mean that Toot Gumshoes will be picking up the slack, and that I will be reviewing Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. For those youngsters who have never heard of this cartoon, it was shown in the late 80s to early 90s as part of the Disney Afternoon, and like DuckTales, it had a very kick-ass theme song. But this time, the cartoon was about the exploits of Chip and Dale, who have formed their own crime-fighting team called the Rescue Rangers. It was a decent enough cartoon that has aged well enough that I believe a 5 to 10-year-old kid now would enjoy it as much as a 5 to 10-year-old kid did during the 80s and 90s. That said, there's really nothing here to hook anyone who is an adult. But I'm here to review the video game that Capcom released for the NES as part of their whole licensing agreement they had with Disney at the time, and I can't say as an adult this game has aged really well. The story starts off with the Rescue Rangers out to save a missing kitten, and in the end, beating up one of Professor Nimnol's machines, despite the fact that he is never mentioned in this game. Anyways, the whole thing was actually a distraction set up by Fat Cat so he can kidnap Gadget, so she can make him inventions and make him a criminal mastermind. Unfortunately, Fat Cat, the only thing you are guilty of here is perpetrator of 1990s video game cliche 1B, kidnapping a girl in order to spur the heroes into action because you're a jerk. The only reason it's 1B and not the more serious 1A is there's no fantasy land in jeopardy because of this. Anyways, the Rescue Rangers are now out to try to rescue her. To be fair into this game, you do rescue Gadget several stages away from the ending, but still take a look at her. They obviously didn't spend any time or money to add any animations to her. She looks like a reject from The Walking Dead. Anyways, the story is forgettable, but as is most 90s video game stories. When it comes to the gameplay, what can I say? This game taps into the pure fun and delight of picking up boxes that may or may not have something in them and throwing them at enemies. Yeah, that's the whole point of this game, picking up stuff, mainly boxes, and tossing. And as simple as it sounds, it's great fun, and the fact that there are secrets under half the boxes you pick up makes it even more addicting. I could spend several hours just picking them up and throwing boxes in this game. It's that fun. Beyond box throwing and enemy clobbering, there is some platforming, and it's actually really good. It's not Scrooge McDuck on a pogo stick good, but it's still really solid for the most part. It does lack some of the challenges in its platforming that DuckTales had, but it's still really fun when it comes to that section of the game too. And while the game is for the most part easy, there are one or two areas that can be tricky, either because you have an enemy that is hard to kill with boxes, or the game actually penalizes you for crazy box throwing, but these are few and far between. The game does get credit for one thing. You get to pick your stage and you don't have to play all of them in order to beat the game. After you beat a stage, you get pulled back onto a map screen and you get to choose what stage you want to go to next. Some are dead ends, some are shorter paths, and some are actually completely optional. But you get to choose which stage you want to do. For something that could be so bare bones and straightforward, this is kind of a really nice touch that you get to pick where you want to go next. Oh, did I speak about the bosses yet? They're for the most part okay. They're not bad, but they're okay. Basically, most of them revolve around picking up a ball and throwing it at them, and then finding a way to dodge their patterns. Still, you get a few decent ones in there. They include Professor Nimnol's machines, and those shape-shifting aliens spaceship are also in this, and it's kind of fun to battle these guys. And while the game is easy for the most parts, and 1-ups are extremely easy to get, the only hard part that might trip up new players is that the game over sends you back to the very beginning of the game. Experienced players probably won't have this happen too much, but if you're a younger gamer, get prepared for that setback, because this game takes no prisoners when it comes to game overs. You don't get one that often, but it is a type of game that goes back to the NES roots of making sure you perfect it in order to really beat it. The graphics in this game are pretty good for the most part. Hey, I said for the most part. Gadget aside, Chip and Dale look themselves. Let's do the robot dogs, Fat Cat, and the bosses you encounter. I can't really think of too many enemies that are so off model you have to go, who the heck are they? Okay, with the exception of her, and she still looks like Gadget, just a mutated zombified one. The background for a game around this time also looks really nice and pretty good for NES standards. Overall, Chip and Dale is a beautiful game. Sound-wise, the sound and music is great. While it's not DuckTales and it's not trying to be DuckTales, while the DuckTales themes were often epic, Chip and Dale's are more wacky and fun. Add in some great sound effects and you can't get a better sounding game. I loved Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers as a kid, and it's aged like fine wine. It's a bit on the easy side, but it's still a blast to play through. As part of the Disney Afternoon Collection, it's definitely worth playing. Its standard price on eBay for the NES version as of this writing is about $20, and I say it's worth that amount. It might not take you long to beat it the first time, but it's the type of game that's just a blast to play through again and again when you have about a half an hour to kill, so it's still worth checking out on the NES side too. Well guys, this is the second game I reviewed from the Disney Afternoon Collection. I reviewed DuckTales years ago, so I have a few more to go. I'll see you guys later.